Just wanted to let you know that you should probably cut ties with somebody. They're probably a narcissist. And yeah, it's going to keep happening. There's a pattern. Okay? It's not worth trying to change them. It's not worth trying to manifest a change in them if how you really want to feel is free from them, or, free from the pain that they are really good at inflicting. All right? So a narcissist is not somebody that just wants to be right. A narcissist is not somebody that is loud and boisterous or charismatic, or they like attention, or need to be in the center of attention or the spotlight. That's not the core of narcissism. That can be they can be traits. They can also be very shy and like self-effacing, and they could say things like, I love admitting that I'm wrong because I'm so humble. I love learning. You can sense the disingenuousness. You can sense the masking, the fakeness of it. But yeah, dealing with this person is just going to be too much work for your beliefs. It's going to be too hard on your system. So you need to go ahead and cut them away. Narcissistic people have a huge injury, a huge early psychic injury, and unfortunately, they have genetic predisposition. They have different brains. There's studies out there. Go look at them. There's PET scans. They have a brain that doesn't feel empathy in the same way as yours does. It's a totally different brain. Ace of Swords. You're gonna have to be strong. You're gonna have to be strong. You're gonna have to take flight here. It's not. I'm feeling like you're gonna be the one that does the discarding, and that's good. Or if you get discarded, the Tower. If maybe not, if you get discarded, that's even better. 2, 3, 4 on the timer. Even though it's extremely painful, it's excruciating. It's the way it's set up. What a narcissist does is they have a huge. They don't have access to the wellspring of like inner contentment. They don't have access to like who they are. They're not anchored there. There's a void here. You hear a lot of them say, I used to deal with them all the time, and I attract them everywhere. They have this underlying apathetic, sullen kind of disgust mixed with rage if you aggravate them. But just bored. They have object impermanence. If you're not in the room, you don't exist. And they will go around, instead of processing their pain, they have a very diminished capacity to do so. So they go around creating drama, and not in like a loud way. A lot of times it's not in like a loud way. It could just be something that's like, for instance, like, oh, I'll take out the trash later. Don't worry, you can count on me. And they give you that feeling, and then them seeing you feeling the feeling of faith in them gives them a high. That's all they want. And then they don't do it. Then this could be calculated. It usually is calculated. Sometimes they're unaware though. They won't take out the trash later, and they just won't bring it up. And then you'll say, yeah, weren't you supposed to do that? Didn't you say you were going to do that? And then you'll get either a dismissal. Why are you making such a big deal about it? Or, I'm so sorry, I have so much going on. Not just like, oh, I forgot. The truth is, it's not forgotten. They don't forget. Like I said, this is usually calculated. And they just go around and create a sort of an eddy of chaos where they can win. A situation where they can rise to the top. Because they're in hierarchical black and white. They're trauma run. They're shame driven. Because they don't want to sit with the shame and process and integrate it and release it. Okay. but you are somebody whose beliefs are, you have a lot to be proud of. You are really good at identifying these kinds of people, and you're really good at attracting them, and you maybe you feel sorry for them because it's like, oh, like they were hurt. This is a kind of person, like object impermanence is like something that infants do because they don't really realize that mom's not in the room, so they freak out, So this is like they have injuries from way, way back, and it's generational. It always is. Sometimes, a narcissist can come from a narcissist. Sometimes, usually you have a family system where if there's more than one sibling and narcissistic parents, or a main narcissist and then like an enabler parent, then there will be a golden child, which is like the next narcissist, and then a scapegoat. And if there's more, then there's other roles that they could take on, like the invisible one. And, it could ping pong back and forth, but there's always a triangle. There's always like a rescuer, there's always a victim, and there's always a perpetrator. Okay, Ace of Swords and Ace of Wands, both coming out. Yeah, this is going to be, there's a lot of holding on here. They're holding on to the wands, holding on to the wand, holding on to the sword. He's holding on to a bunch of freaking wands. It's a lot to carry. So I'm feeling like with this tower showing up, that you're about to let go. Let go of this person. And with the sword, do some cord cutting. And it may not, this may be like the beginning of the end for you. Because with these people, they want you to think that they don't want you, but they do need you. They need somebody. They need something to bounce their pain off. They go around kind of I imagine they have a hook. They try to hook people in and sort of create like a tap line to your psyche, your soul, inject their pain and have you process it for them while they, come out on top. It gives them a high. What they want is the high. And that's what they live off of. It's like they've learned to live off poison, and to become a non-narcissist from a narcissist, you know what I mean? They will always have to jump an extra hoop. And it's an uphill slog for a self-aware narcissist. And I see a lot of you out here are really hoping that your narcissist is going to be the unicorn. And I'm just your life is going to end one day. How much more time do you want to spend on this person? You know what I'm saying? I know you do. I know this isn't a fun reading. This isn't a fun one. But you know what? This is what some of y'all need to hear. I know this is what I needed to hear this a long time ago. And I did hear this. And once I heard it, once I knew, I couldn't look away. I couldn't not know. And of course there'll be increased gaslighting, increased evaluation. Like I said, maybe even a discard from them just to have their final, they'll hurt you before you can hurt them. And they are constantly planning, the next move, if that makes sense. Magician, okay? But you've got a lot going for you. Y'all, this is a big deal for you. This is part of your purpose. This is part of your plan here. If you believe in a pre-life decision for you to come here and inject yourself into a narcissistic family system and end up with narcissistic partners or narcissistic coworkers, okay? Maybe you're like a magnet for them, but that is a very powerful place to be. So I hope this helps.